Good day, everyone. So I'm Merissa Ocampo and affiliated at Fukushima Gakuen College, Fukushima, Japan. And I'd like to share to you my research about the importance of interconnectedness to boost happiness in the classroom. Actually, I would like to recognize the opportunity to share to you the importance of interconnectedness in the classroom, especially in our condition nowadays, right? So interconnected is really necessary, not only in the classroom, but even in our lives now. Because of the pandemic, I think this topic is very timely. Okay, so before we start, I would like to have a very, a quick and simple quiz first. Okay, so first quiz will be done alone. So first, you just think it for about 5 seconds, and then don't ask the person sitting next to you if you have somebody. And okay, so here is the question. And what are the two international airports in Japan? Tokyo, Japan. Now, so metropolitan. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, finished. Next is with the people around you. Not the same thing, same question. And what are the two international airports in metropolitan Tokyo, Japan? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, that's great. Okay, now, so what is the answer? Yes. Okay, so the answer is Narita and Haneda. Maybe for some of you, so this quiz is so simple, and for others probably is not. Now, so the point here is about the feeling. Now, so the feeling while doing it. So could you assess a bit your feeling when you did the quiz alone? So what was your feeling when you did it alone for only for 5 seconds now? Probably some of you were pressured, some of you were panicked because of the allotted time, and or because you did it alone. And how about the feeling you had when you solved the problem with somebody? What was your feeling when you had someone beside you, someone whom you can lean on? And what was the feeling? So probably some of you felt relaxed, some of you suddenly remember the answer because you know that there's somebody next to you willing to help. Once you get them, you make mistakes. So do you think that there is a difference between your feeling doing it alone and doing it with someone? So please try to assess your feeling. So if you will put yourself in the student's shoes, then probably you will be able to know and feel the feeling of the students when they are in a state of doing an examination in the classroom. Okay, so why? Because since the topic is about the interconnectedness, the relatedness, and these people relate to each other, and this is one of the crucial features now of the modern world is people's interconnected as human beings. It's very important, no? So they connect globally, socially, and professionally. So for language learners and teachers, so this interconnected world has transformed the nature of their opportunities for connecting and learning with and from others. So, however, making the most of these possibilities depends crucially on their ability to form effective, stress-free, and collaborative relationship with others, of course, in both real and virtual worlds. So there is one colleague of mine now, so we are in the same field doing this kind of positive psychology and promoting the teachers' well-being, not only teachers but students too. Mercer now, so Mercer in 2016 emphasized one of her researches, she emphasized there that the key to a meaningful, high-quality interpersonal relationship is our capacity. So our capacity to empathize with others. Really, so our capacity to empathize with others, the empathy that we can give to someone is very important, especially when you want to improve the well-being of individuals. Now, and so look at the slide now. So in here, if I will ask you, so do you think that we teachers are really superhero of our students? So, well, if you will assess yourself, then probably this is true, right? So, which is really, true in many ways. No, we teachers must have multiple talents and tremendous effort to do our task. We teachers also should be, should be waterproof and even disease proof. So in this world, in the situation nowadays, because of the COVID problem, so teachers are required to go to school and deal with the teachers, and we deal with the students, and they have to show that they are really a kind of this disease proof. It is not only the doctors and the nurses now, so we can also teachers be best actors, best actresses in front of the students now. So even if we feel anxious, if we are stressed, still when we stand in front of the students, we smile now, because we have now, so we have to show to the students that we are fine, that we are, we are strong, and we are happy, because students, if you were look at this now, so students here are really, look at their eyes now, so full of uh, passionate, and they're really looking up to the teachers now. So and I believe and so many educators too, that we educators have the ability to make a difference. We have an ability to make a difference, sometimes unbelievable things that can happen in school. And one famous psychologist um, observe that a group's confidence seemed to be associated with greater success, and that is Mantura. So when we had a quiz a minute ago, so did you have confidence about your answer after doing it with your seatmate? Yeah, so that is the point here now. So when you do things with someone, then you will have this kind of feeling of confidence. And these students here, if you will see now, if they feel that they are connected with the teacher, then so they'll feel relaxed, they will have the confidence, and they will be able to succeed now, especially in learning second language. So I'm talking about learning second language here because so the research that I did was actually related to the feelings now, so the feelings of the students learning English. So when a team shares unified beliefs and efforts, so they can overcome challenges and produce a good result. And I hope that you agree to that. And it's already proven by Bandura. And he called an interesting pattern in human behavior as collective efficacies. So what is this all about? And this collective efficacy is one of the factors influencing students. And since collective efficacy influences how students and educators feel, think, motivate themselves, and behave, it is a major contributor to the tenor of school's culture. And yeah, if we will look at the slides here, in Japan, it is strongly impacted by learners' attitudes towards the role of English with their society. So despite the impending 2021 Olympics, so they do not appear to feel any immediate need for English, and they would rather direct their intentions towards self-expressions and personal growth rather than authentic communication. So um, there is also significant culturally influenced anxiety, which inhibits Japanese learners from initiating conversation and raising new topics and challenging their teachers. For this reason, scholars are giving increasingly attention to the retention of local cultural identity in language education, which is one of the studies of Pennycook in 1994. So these learners also value indirect speech and the face saving, the group conformity, competition avoidance, and the preference for teachers' dominated classroom. In fact, according to Capro in 1997, I would like to emphasize this now. So it is actually an old research, but I'd like to remind you that in 1997, so this one of the researchers in Japan proved that Japan has demonstrated seemingly love to hate relationship with English over the years. So this situation is in fact still visible now, up to now. And can you imagine 1997, and then the many researchers, teachers from different kinds of, different parts of the world. But still, now so they're really trying their best to motivate students to minimize these kinds of anxiety-related problems. However, nowadays it's 2020 and this year is 2020 and still so these problems are visible. So Japanese EFL learners therefore suffer considerably from the three following elements. So this which is recognized with the help of the FLCAS by Horowitz, and this one is in learning foreign languages. Okay, so one is the communicative apprehension, and number two is the test anxiety, and three is the fear of negative evaluation. And I would like to focus now, so I would like to focus on number two, which is the test anxiety. Now, because later I am going to tell you why interconnectedness is related to test anxiety and how to eliminate or eliminate, or at least now, so if we cannot eliminate it completely, at least to lessen, so lessen the test anxiety. And teachers also have the and on top of this, so teachers also have an insidious new source of anxiety in this kind of situation. It is not only students who are who are suffering from this kind of problems, but it also affect the teachers ability to teach in the classroom. And so in here you will see you will see that Japanese students self-perception is often negative. That is one of the one of the challenges that teachers of English as a second language in Japan is to motivate, how to motivate the students. And yeah, so there are many approaches and techniques on how to motivate the students, but as for me, I did a research basically on how to change the mindset. So even if the approaches and techniques are good, if the minds of the students are still the same, it's, I think, possible, maybe possible, but as for me, I'm always telling my students to amend, so their mindset, that they're good in a way, because most of the students think that they're really not good. So when you ask them, oh, I cannot speak English, so they think that they cannot speak English because English is difficult, because of that they think that they're dumb. And they're always concerned about their grammatical, the mistakes. So it is not only the grammar related thing. So this is how they perceive. So how they perceive themselves is very important. So when you think that you're not good, then you might not be good at something. So As for me, so this is still up to now. As I've said a while ago, this is one of the challenges of the EFL teachers in Japan. And as Aristotle said, now, so I would like to quote this now, that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. And one of our roles as super teacher is to amend students' mindset with empathy and provide them an effective environment. So it is okay now to improve the mind, and which is more related to the IQ, but without educating the heart. And this is related to giving, if how can we change the mindset of the students if we are angry now, without showing our compassionate feeling with the students. So we have to educate now. So we have to educate the students with a combination of affective things now, with the heart now, with affection, compassionate, love. Okay, so in that way, students will be able to feel that they are loved, that they are that, and in that way they could easily embrace mistakes in their journey of learning languages. And here, so that is how family environment mode approach, or let's call it the FEMA, in short, started. So the birth of FEMA was an opportunity now. So it's an opportunity for the teachers to help students lessen or to eradicate completely their stress in the classroom. This approach is to help students inculcate in their minds that the classroom that they are in is their family. Now, so their families, as I mentioned here, is their family away from home. That we are one big family in the campus. So so I became motivated to develop different approaches and techniques on how to amend students' mindsets to start embracing their mistakes as part of their journey in learning English. And of course, to lessen their stress in the classroom. And this shared examination technique. So this is one of them. I mentioned to you ago the three elements, right? And my focus and my researches are actually focus on this now. So this shared examination technique, how to lessen the test anxiety, and this is one of the answers that I taught. And this shared examination technique, or the set, is one of them now. So for 3 consecutive years now, I followed up a total of uh, 250, so 250 students from Tohoku region about their feelings on having a shared effort in taking an examination, which I call it the shared examination technique, or set. So participants answer the questionnaires voluntarily. And you see, and I also made it clear that the only FEMA can give are, one is to reduce learners' stress, and to increase their motivation by calibrating attitudinal adjustment or changes in mindset. So when we talk about the key now, so the key attitudinal changes, which I usually refer to mindsets, are, one is embracing failures now. So embracing failures and letting go of fear of making mistakes. So I'm always telling my students that it's fine to make mistakes. Don't be scared of making mistakes, because from there, also from there, you will learn. And I always make sure now, I always make sure that the best example is myself now, because I am in Japan, and even if I live here for many years, I still make mistakes in Japanese now. So I always want to show them that even if I make mistakes in speaking and even in reading kanji, then it's fine, it's okay to make mistakes. As long as they are doing it with heart and with effort, then that is fine for me. So and then another is, think of the class and its subgroups as a family-like units, that even if they make mistakes, it's fine, because we are here with them, that they are not alone, that we are one family here. Because in a family situation, you know, even if they make mistakes in the family now, it's okay. They don't feel shy now. So that is what I'm always telling them. So don't feel shy to make mistakes. And because teaching and learning any subject is an intricate process that involves manifold interactions, right? So and everything learners, so learners here and teachers bring to the classroom, including their beliefs, the personalities, and relationship with the people around them, influence their actions in class. So within this complex range of affective dynamics, two affective aspects have particularly captured my attention, and these are stress and motivation. So this is actually very important now. So when students, when they go to the classroom, and even teachers, not only learners, huh? So their beliefs and personalities, and then the way they look at themselves, and then also the relationship with the people around them. Actually, all these things will affect their actions in the class, and we have to be very, very aware. I mean, aware of these things now. And yeah, so in order to motivate them and eradicate their feeling of stress and fear, and then I encourage them to call me mom now. So here, so mom or okan in Japanese. In the so this okan, so okan here is okasan in Japanese, oka-asan actually. So means mother in Japanese. So when I ask them if they are agree to this, and then 20% of the students show that they're positive acceptance of calling me mom, because of probably because of the pronunciation. It's quite cool now, mom. And then 40% preferred to call me okan now. So this is the okan here, the okan, because this is actually from the word okasan, which means mother in Japanese. And also, since my same resonates to my family name Ocampo, it's sometimes pronounced like calling me by my family name now. So which why 40% prefer to call me Ocampo Sensei. Sensei is the teacher now. So instead to show, to show their respect now. So by putting the sensei at the back of the name. So on the other hand, now so 80% of the students were happy when I called them daughters or sons. Now, so the remaining 20% did not show their acceptance by telling no comment, just ato ka na, and smile, and no concrete comment. So so another is my original technique is no test alone. So that is a while ago. No? So the set is similar to that one, just like home alone. Now, so I never let students to be alone in taking quizzes and examination. In this way, students felt less anxious and the stress. And as I mentioned a while ago, that we teachers are super teachers, and we can be the okan or the mom of the students in the classroom, and we can also be their let's say sisters or brothers in the classroom, a friend in the classroom, and a teacher can be students' dream creator. Now, so dream creator or dream distractor. So I really love this. So dream co-creator or dream distractor. This is actually I borrowed it from Kim Rockwell Sensei. You know? So he was the one who mentioned this one to me, and then I went, oh, this was really cool. No, so Kim Sensei, thank you so much for that. So dream distractor or dream creator. Yeah. So yep. So being students' mom, sisters, or dream co-creator, I always remind myself about because I always remind myself about the skills to become emotionally intelligent. Why? Because we have to now. So these five things we have to develop now, so we have to develop now in order for us to fulfill all our roles to be the super teachers. One is the self-awareness. So what is this self-awareness? So it is our ability now, so ability to recognize and understand our own emotions now, our moods, our own action and emotion on other people. We have to be aware of this. If we feel that we are already, a bit angry, then we can at least now, so we know that we are angry. Huh? If we feel that we are, because women, so our moods are changing. So we have to be aware of that. And then self-regulation, so it is all about expressing our emotion appropriately. So how can you regulate your anger? How can you regulate your feeling of distress when the students are not participating in the class now? And then this number 3, social skills. And what is the social skills now? So social skills here, um, how can we be able to interact well now with others? And then number 4 is empathy. It's our ability to understand how others are feeling. And number 5 is motivation. So intrinsic motivation, we know that. So motivation is, there are two kinds of motivations, the intrinsic and the extrinsic one. And for me, I think the most important here is motivated intrinsically, because it has an important role now. So when we are motivated intrinsically, then it reflects our desire to do something enjoyable. Now, so we enjoy things. We enjoy doing things because we are not expecting rewards. No, we're not expecting rewards or praises or anything, or increase of salary from others. Now, so if we are intrinsically motivated, of course, now, so the enjoyment we experience would be sufficient for us to perform the activity in the future. Now, so these 5 um, related to EQ is very important now. And once we develop these skills intrinsically, they will come out and radiate naturally where students could feel. Students are very keen about the teacher's actions, the teacher's facial expressions. They're very keen of those. So then, now, this interconnectedness with each other will begin. If the students will feel, not only see, that the teacher is affectionate, the teacher empathize them, then students will start to come to you, start to open up themselves, and this interconnected will be increased. So the core of empathy and happiness in the classroom begin on how we relate. Now, how we relate to one another. And if we know how to empathize, and if we know how to empathize, I'm telling it to you through FEMA, we will be able now. So in my case now, so the FEMA approach and bringing positivity in the classroom, then the classroom, so bringing the positive psychology, the positivity in the classroom, then so the stress-free will now, so environment will become stress-free and everybody will be happy. So interconnectedness provides a framework, so for students to explore the ways they interact with one another as human. And as a second language teacher, I have tried different ways to connect with my students. A while ago, I mentioned too. Now, it is not easy, and most of the time, it is not only students suffer from anxiety, burnout, and stress, or the abs, but the teachers too. So here are some of the techniques I have done, and to keep the linkage, so between the teachers and the students. In 2005, I did a research about Nekomimi, and I call it as an anxiety buster. And then I will explain it to you later. And then the FEMA application to stress and anxiety in a cold environment. And then number 3 is the one I mentioned to you a while ago, the SET. And then the narrative picture book writing. So this Nekomimi as, what is that, as an anxiety buster. it shows here now. So I have some photos here to prove that they're enjoying the company of their brothers and sisters now. So the Nekomimi is this, and the researcher asked now, so which is me, the students to prepare questions for their brothers and sisters from simple to difficult ones. With this, we did able to know their emotions, whether they are in relaxation state, focus and relaxed, and highly focused. The students of intensive class really enjoy the Q&A and especially the answer question, because you know why? The ears of this machine moves, no? So when something catches the wearer's attention, the ears sit straight up, and when they're relaxed, the ears, no? So the ears droop down. Now, so which is really really interesting. And then another is this is the call environment. Well, in this research, stress and anxiety were found different. Students had the stress now a bit different now. So the students had a stress using whiteboard, because traditionally we use board, right? Whiteboard or the green board or blackboard, no? And notebook, pen. But in this case, because this is a computer major, their majors now, so the major is computer science, and so they really had stress in using whiteboard. They prefer to use the keyboard now. And for the students, so even how hard I tried now, so to show the empathy with the students still, so the stress that they had was actually whiteboard using and notebook and pens. So whereas the opposite of that, their teacher, had an anxiety on using gadgets in the classroom. And that this was 2017, I guess. So the connection now, so between students and teachers did not work so much despite the given empathy to students because of the classroom layout. Now, so moreover, computer became an immovable now. So we call it this, you see, so the immovable barrier. Now it's immovable barrier between students and teachers. I was here. This is the whiteboard, and then if you are standing there, so you won't really see the faces of the students here. And well, so this is one of the negative part of using computer room now, so in the classroom, especially when you cannot see the faces of your students. And of course, we teachers want to, if we are really concerned about the feeling of the students, then we will see that the approach of giving the empathy in the classroom is not effective in this case now. So however, as I've mentioned a while ago, that application of FEMA in the classroom, giving the empathy to the students, is not, or was not now, so was not effective in this classroom setup. And the share examination. So examination is, of course, now, so probably not only me. So examination is not everyone's cup of tea. So the students, you nor me. So I guess, so as our students, as our students, right? So however, so through the help of this set, now the what is set again? So this is this shared examination technique now. So the fear and the the anxiety, burnout, and stress of the students before taking the examination vanished, and the connection between the students were strengthened because they keep on asking each other, and then and they believed that they were not alone during the difficult moment, and the feeling of gratitude also. So the gratitude is very important. Gratitude to the teachers too, because they kept on saying, thank you so much now. So thank you so much. So the feeling of gratitude also improved in a way, developed. Again, as Seligman said, also Seligman is the father of the positive psychology. So he mentioned in one of his speeches, said that bringing empathy in the classroom will provide students an engaging and interactive experience in the science of happiness, well-being, and flourishing. And since if you will see here, so since the core of empathy is about how humans relate to one another, so this exploratory research highlighted the relationship of 250 students in Japan. So 95% of the learners revealed that interconnectedness in the classroom through shared examination technique provided an engaging and interactive experiences and environment experiences now, so an environment, and then interrelatedness also developed their happiness, and then the grit now, so the grit to finish the task, and flourishing attitude in learning, particularly during the examination period now. So moreover, 60% of the now here, so 60% of the students became compassionate to each other. So after the implementation of set, yeah, so they started teaching teaching their partners now, which is very, very promising. So therefore, so this study concluded that set is a promising technique to promote students' happiness and to improve learners' well-being. Yeah, as teachers, both in and out the classroom, so we have to be aware that we can bridge the gap between the students and teachers' relationship to create a real linkage between each other. In that way, students and teachers will create a harmonious relationship, thus creates anxiety, burnout, and stress. So free environment and happiness in the classroom. And but let them know that you can see them, they're visible in the classroom, and they are somebody in English classroom. So each and every one of us here have our own stories. So either our students or our personal stories, right? So those stories are either sad nor happy, and I bet everybody here wants somebody to listen to them. Why? Because we are all human. We are yearning for connection, belongings, and love. So let us not let someone like a ghost unseen in the classroom. So when we acknowledge and see students' ability and capacity to finish the task, it will increase connectedness, develop peer strength, and then increase gratitude, both to teachers and peers towards the total effective classroom improvement, classroom engagement, and interactive experience too will be increased. And to conclude, if we are looking at the real meaning of being teachers in the classroom, and that is hard to find, so we have to create our own meaning. So the role of closeness, intimacy, and interconnectedness between the teacher and student as an important component of human happiness are of no doubt necessary to motivate students to be engaged in learning. However, so one of our roles as a teacher is to identify ingredients that builds a strong relationship among students, and B is to strengthen building an effective rapport. Now, so effective rapport, and this is to develop an effective now, so engaging reciprocal behavior such as coordination, mirroring, and the mutual attentiveness, commonality, and phase management are actually highly recommended. And well, for me, as I have said in my FEMA approach, I am the teacher, mother, sister, brother, friend, listener, and also the dream creator. Definitely not definitely not their dream crusher. So to finish up, I would like to share the I would like to quote a message from Leonardo da Vinci. So learn how to see, realize that everything connects to everything else. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again someday. Bye.